Your Excellency, Madame Monique Sanzabagwana, Vice Chairperson of the African Union Commission, Honorable Ministers, representatives of the institutions with whom we cooperate on this front, Ambassador Barak, representing the intergenerational equity that we must secure. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to deliver a closing statement at this 11th Conference on Climate Change and Development in Africa, which has reaffirmed the CCDA's pivotal role as a forum from the continent to identify opportunities and solutions in the face of climate and development crisis. And I completely agree with all of my predecessors who have argued that we have to change the narrative, that we have to control the narrative, and that we have to move from portraying this continent as a victim to portraying the continent as a solutions powerhouse for climate action. And on many of the statements today, we've identified the opportunities to indeed become a powerhouse. For Minister Arlette, who is the chair of the Congo Basin, she has identified those opportunities. I think we need to introduce in the conversations on climate finance the component on investment, because indeed on the continent we have the opportunities to become a powerhouse for climate investment. Our discussions over the past 3 days have been open, constructive, and encouraging. They have underscored that by uniting and engaging in honest dialogue on potential pathways towards a greener, more inclusive Africa, the 21st century will be paved with opportunities for our continent. Forming the technical segment of the inaugural Africa Climate Summit, the CCDA has been particularly important, and I completely agree with Charles. Indeed, we've been having these climate summits for quite some time now, and the CCDA has been that particular platform where we come together to discuss the pathways to securing a climate justice on the continent. As we're heading into the summit, we can feel the anticipation in the air. The enormity of what is at stake needs to be clearly understood. There is a potential for a horrific scenario where the world fails to reduce emissions to avert the dire projections made by climate scientists, and they're very clear. We've overpassed some of the targets that we have set ourselves, 1.5 degrees. So if we don't do anything today, the future is going to be bleak. Yet, even in the event of successful emissions reduction, there could be a troubling outcome, an unjust transition. This scenario would imply that planetary systems are saved on terms that serve today's elites, while extreme poverty is allowed to persist. Hence, the comments that were made before that climate action and development action is part and parcel of the same continuum is something that we really should be part of our discourse, of our actions moving forward. So all the SDGs are interlinked, and climate action is indeed part of our development action. As reflected in today's presentations on Africa's common position for COP28 and the CCDA's draft outcome document, we need to embrace a dual approach, advocating for climate justice at international level, while also actively pursuing concrete solutions at the national and local levels in our countries. The representative of the Parliament community clear and indicated of some of the actions that we can do at our end. We don't need to wait for the rest of the world to mainstream climate action in our political discourse, in our policy actions. This is not a choice between one or the other. The lack of the right global enabling environment and strong global action on climate action will lead to dire consequences for all of us. However, in the absence of effective strategies within our own countries, without our governments taking responsibility for converting the immense potential of our continent into tangible benefits to our people, Africa risks being left behind in a world undergoing unjust transitions. So we cannot wait for the rest of the world. Action must come from us. Efforts to strengthen the blue economy, as per the Moroni Declaration, to use Africa's mining sector for green industrialization, and to leverage carbon markets for monetizing the continent's natural wealth form all part of an integrated endeavor to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals and Agenda 2063. That's why I indicated that we can indeed be the powerhouse for climate solutions and actions for the rest of the world. Nairobi is paving the way for African voices and solutions to feature prominently at the upcoming SDG Summit and the COP28. We're establishing the foundation for sustained, strong African position, carrying on the legacy of COP27. This year's CCDA has been a milestone in this regard and has set the tone for the summit that is about to start. On behalf of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, I wish to thank all participants and partners, including the African Union Commission and the African Development Bank, our partners on many fronts, for their invaluable contributions towards this conference. The government of Kenya, represented here today through representative of His Excellency President William Ruto, has been an exceptional host. I extend sincere appreciation to the President and his government for their visionary leadership. As we head into Africa Climate Summit, I wish all of us productive and outcome-driven engagements that build on the results of this 11th Conference on Climate Change and Development in Africa. And I wish you a very good weekend, because indeed today is your Friday. Thank you.